In this lesson, I want to discuss the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or renin-angiotensin-aldosterone mechanism. So for short, I'm just going to call it the RAAM. And we're going to try to ram this into your brain today. It is one of the most important concepts, but one of the most trickiest ones to learn. So we're going to start out with a couple key concepts that we need to understand. And what's going to initiate this whole deal, what's going to make this whole mechanism, this system kick into action, is when our blood pressure is a little low. So a low blood pressure, a decreased blood pressure, the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone mechanism will kick into action. And the end product will be to take our blood pressure and increase it, or to raise our blood pressure. And we want to make sure that these things happen. Now, as a quick little side note, we're going to note that in our kidneys, if you guys, some of you may not have seen this yet, and I want to erase this abbreviation here, but some of you guys may not have seen this yet, but there is a structure in the kidneys called the juxtaglomerular apparatus. So I'm going to abbreviate it JGA, and this is in the kidneys, the juxtaglomerular apparatus. And as blood is coming into the kidneys and as urine is being produced, rather filtrate more accurately is being produced, your kidney is going to detect a drop in this blood pressure. So what it's going to want to do is you need to get this up. So when the juxtaglomerular apparatus detects the drop in blood pressure, what is going to be released is a chemical that it's going to release called renin. Now again, this is if BP is low, the blood pressure is low. So we release renin. Now, it's not just the kidneys with the juxtaglomerular apparatus. We also have our liver. And our liver produces many of the blood's proteins, many of the hormones and circulating blood proteins that we find. And one of them that it produces is an inactive protein called Angiotensinogen. Now, I want you to notice a couple things. Angio, like angiogram. Angio meaning blood, having to do with the blood vessels. So this is tensin. Tensin, think about making you tense, making things constrict. This will give you an idea of what is going on when you think of angio with the blood vessels, tensin, making tension, making them tense, making them constrict. And when you see this gen, you know it is an inactive precursor. So what we need to know is we activate angiotensinogen with renin, and we begin a cascade of events that we need to look at. Now this angiotensinogen, inactive, will be converted when renin hits us. Now this actually occurs in our lungs. Now, not important for us at this level, but this occurs in our lungs. And what we're going to see is going to happen is we produce something called Angiotensin-1. Now, Angiotensin-1, we're going to see later on, has some really interesting impacts. Angiotensin-1 will have some very important impacts, and Angiotensin-2 will affect the kidneys. But we're going to go on Angiotensin-2, and we're going to have a reaction that we need to occur here. Now, I'm going to tell you the name of this reaction. We want to produce Angiotensin-2. Now, how we do this is, of course, with an enzyme. We have some enzyme coming in here. Its name is Angiotensin-Converting Enzyme, or ACE for short. Angiotensin-Converting Enzyme. Now, pharmacologically speaking, if you've ever heard of ACE inhibitors, like lisinopril, then you are aware of, you've heard this before, you know if I give someone an ACE inhibitor that it lowers their blood pressure. So this is how this will work. It prevents the formation of angiotensin-2. Now, how does that keep our blood pressure down? Well, angiotensin-2 will go to the cortex of the adrenal gland, the suprarenal gland, the suprarenal cortex, and it will cause the release of a hormone called aldosterone. And aldosterone has some very important impacts. Now, I'm going to erase just a few things here. So we know right now that BP is low, and we know that we have released aldosterone. Now, aldosterone, when it is produced, will work its way to the kidneys. Now, what it's going to do in the kidneys? Now, it's going to work on the kidneys, yes, but we also will see that aldosterone is a strong vasoconstrictor. Okay? So it is going to constrict blood vessels. It will cause the kidneys to retain sodium, Na+, and lose potassium, K+. Now, with vasoconstriction and rise in potassium levels, what we will see occur here, the rise in potassium will cause your blood volume to increase. But think about this. Now, angiotensin 2 also will work as a vasoconstrictor, but not at the level we're looking at now, not systemically so much. But if aldosterone constricts blood vessels and causes us to retain this sodium, it will cause blood pressure to rise, because with the increase in blood volume due to sodium, because the water will follow that sodium concentration gradient, and a decrease, a constriction of blood vessels when they have become tensed, our blood pressure rises. So BP is increased, and we are now at homeostasis. So this is an incredibly important concept that you need to understand very well, and this will be by far not the last time you will see it from me. This is the simplest one that we'll see in terms of the endocrinology chapter, but we will see this again, pretty much the exact same detail when we discuss cardiovascular physiology. But you will see a little bit more detail when we discuss renal physiology, because we'll discuss how the various forms of angiotensin affect the kidneys, and we'll discuss a little bit more about the loss of potassium. But other than that, guys, this is all we really need to understand here. This is a very important concept, so please take time to understand that and make special notes. People often forget that aldosterone will cause a loss of potassium. So it is one of the chief factors, and overproduction of aldosterone will cause what's called hypokalemia, which is low potassium. So next time we're looking at this, guys, please make special note, and note that if you're taking me for A&P2, you will definitely see this to a pretty deep level. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find this helpful.